Coach, you've been a part of some teams that championship teams with really strong defenses, but you've also seen the SEC talent on SEC defenses from the NFL perspective. Can you talk about how good the SEC has become defensively over the years, and how many they have a lot of NFL starters, more than any other league?
Well, I think there's a lot of good players in this league, period. And I think there's a lot of players that I think the high school football programs in the Southeast are, really good. I think there's a lot of players that develop. There's a lot of good athletes. There's a lot of speed. And I think all those things contribute to the kind of players that they look for at the next level. We're fortunate as a league to have some great institutions who can attract those players with the kind of programs that we have and the kind of competition that we have in the league, and getting those guys to play in this part of the country, I think all makes our league what it is. I think it goes back to the players. I think we've done a great job from an SEC standpoint, the commissioner and the entire league, of having a great league in terms of what we do and how we promote it. But I think it still comes back to the quality of the players, the type of people they are, and that's what people want to see, and that's where a lot of the fan interest comes from. And it's really fun to coach because there is great competition and there is a lot of great players.
Coach, we saw a little bit more of Nico Johnson against Arkansas. I just wanted to ask you your thoughts on his play on Saturday and the linebackers in general.
Well, I think we did a little better job against the run. I still think that some of the issues in pass defense, we still need to continue to just be a little more consistent, and whether we're playing zone, pattern match man, man-to-man, everybody being consistent and doing their job. I mean, it's not a reflection on Nico. I'm just saying in general from a linebacker standpoint. But I did think we fit the runs a little bit better, played the runs a little bit better, and we also moved Dante back to where he played most of his career, back to the money position, and I think he's a little more comfortable there. So I think the combination of those two things is what contributed to us playing the run a little bit better. And this is a good running team we're playing this week, so we'll certainly have to do a good job against the running plays that they have and the speed that they have on the perimeter.
It's funny to hear somebody talk about Florida being a good running team, but on that note, Jeff Demps may or may not play this week. How does he impact their offense, and how do you prepare for his potential absence?
Well, he's an outstanding player. He's a great player for them, and they've got a lot of speed, and they've had other guys play in his place that have done a very good job as well. So I don't think they'll necessarily change what they do. But he is just one outstanding player at what he does, and he's a good runner, but he has great speed on the perimeter, probably the likes that we have not seen, but I think their entire team does, and they have some other backs that are very capable guys as well.
I just had a question about the defensive secondary, just going against the caliber of quarterback and Mallet and the receivers they had last week. I had some success against them with the interceptions and had some breakdowns as well. Just how much that they matured and grew in just that one game span.
Well, I'm hopeful that everybody learned from it goes right back to the opening statement. Here's what you're capable of doing when you do things correctly. Here's what happens when you don't. And I think that with young players, maybe this is a great lesson for them to learn from, and they become more aware, more conscious of the discipline it takes to do things correctly against good players who's going to take advantage of every mistake that you make. And I think we made a lot of mistakes in the first few games, and that maybe the other team didn't take advantage of them. But when you play a guy like we played last week, especially in the passing game, they're going to take advantage of it, and that's certainly what happened, especially in the first half.
The last two games you played against Florida were in December, when it's kind of all in, championship stuff on the line. This week, regardless of whether you win or lose, there's 7 more games to play. Is anything different from an emotional preparation standpoint?
Well, we want to get ready to play our best football every game that we play. It's a standard that we want to play to here, and it doesn't really matter, you know, the names on the back of the jerseys change and the numbers change, but the standard never does. And that's a very challenging thing to get from a consistency standpoint, but it's certainly what we want with our team. I think our focus for our team needs to play their best football and learn what they need to do to continue to improve to be able to do that. We're playing a very, very good team. This is a great opportunity to show some of that improvement. But I think our focus has to stay on, you know, what we do, how we do it, understanding the fact that we control a lot of what happens by what we do, and I think it's important that we learn and grow, and that's got to be the focus, you know, for our team. We got to be concerned about what we're doing and how we're doing it, and how we improve and get better.
I wonder if you could comment on the evolution of the Wildcat here and its effectiveness, late game situations, especially when they know pretty much what's going to come.
Right. Well, you know, we're fortunate to have, you know, a couple really good runners. Offensive line does a good job. I think, you know, you're adding a gap to the defense when you do this. Somebody has to cover the quarterback. So even though he's not going to get the ball, somebody's got to cover him. And, you know, therefore you create a little bit of a running advantage for yourself, even though they know what's coming. And that's been a very effective tool for us for the last 2 years. And hopefully we'll be able to continue to execute it and, you know, get the kind of production that is helpful to our offense. It also makes the other team have to prepare for it and spend time on it, as well as all the other things that you do.
Florida's passing offense is ranked 90th in the nation. Is that a deceiving statistic? And just what are your impressions of Brantley and how he's played this season?
Well, I think he's played very well. I mean, I think he's played better in each game. And I think some of the issues that they had may not have been, you know, totally on him. You know, when you play quarterback, which I did in high school, you know, you usually get more of the credit than you deserve, and you usually get more of the blame than you deserve. He's a very capable guy. He's got a good arm, and they have made consistent improvement in the passing game. They have good quality skill guys, and you know, their play action passes are difficult to defend because they're such a good running team. But I think he's played, you know, very, very well for them in what his role has been, and I think he'll continue to improve, and it's going to be a challenge for us to be able to stop the combinations of things that they do. And he is very capable of making big plays, as they always have very good skill players. All right.